about my money. What's up, budgeting family and friends? My name is Sharia. This is the Sharia Mag channel, where I am documenting our six-figure debt-free journey as an entrepreneurial licensed clinical social worker, along with my husband, who is a maintenance supervisor. We started our journey in October of 2023 with $305,884 worth of debt, and our goal is to have this debt completely paid off and eliminated by December 31st, 2026. I am coming to you guys with my week 1 and week 2 of February's budget, and without any further delay, we will get right into it. All right, the template we have on the screen is my budgeting template. It is available for sale. We are going to run through our budget very quickly because we are going through 2 weeks. Life has been lifing, and this is the capacity that I have as far as pushing out YouTube videos. So this first week's budget ran from January 30th to February the 5th. We budget weekly from Thursday to the following Wednesday. As my husband is paid on Thursdays, I am paid on Fridays. So the income for this week was planned at $2,554.75. That was with $950 for my husband, which is what we typically budget. His paycheck for that week was $791.64, and that's because he had a day off due to some snow. My paycheck is planned at $1,104.75. Here lately, it's been $1,110.55. And then I was anticipating $500 for my PRN job, but I only earned $484.94. We also had $120, which was a bank transfer. It basically came from my daughter. She has to pay her cell phone bill, but the cell phone bills are paid out of my business account. So I just kept this money in my account. It brought our actual income to $2,507.13. We move over to savings, and savings for this week was planned at $252.27. We actually saved $252.09, and that was with $68 in our house project fund. If you watched our January, I don't know which budget video, we did actually finish paying off my son's barber school. He is preparing to take his test. $34.09 goes into my son's college fund each week. $50 went into Christmas for this week. $50 into my high yield and $50 into my husband's savings account. And again, that brought our savings to $252.09. The bills for this week were very light. We had our mortgage, which we do pay weekly, at $332.99. And then we had our life insurance at $133.26. Now, the light bill did come out of, it did draft on during this pay period, but it was actually paid out of the week before. But anyhow, it bought our bills. They were planned at $465, and we actually spent $796.25. So expenses for this week were planned at $813.49. We actually spent $723.68, and that was with $100 planned for groceries. We spent $77.32. $125 planned for gas. We spent $105. $60 in beauty maintenance, and $60 did come out. $50 for household, and we did not spend anything. $50 for fast food, and we only spent $8.01. I've been very intentional about cooking from home. $75 for date night, and $75 did come out. $20 for spend money for me and Will, and we did get our $20. Miscellaneous, we had budget $80, and we spent $35.99. Tithe, we had planned $48.49, and we did tithe $48.49. Car price, we had only planned $50, but we ended up spending $348.87. My son's allowance is $10. And he did get $10, and then we were budgeting $125 for 2 weeks for Valentine's Day, and we did put that $125 towards Valentine's Day. So again, our expenses were planned at $813.49. They actually came to $933.68. We transitioned over to debt, and debt was planned at $865.37. And these are basically debt minimums. But what we actually paid in debt, which was debt minimums plus any additional money that we put towards debt, was $934.22. $43.06 on the Barclays card. That card does not have a balance, so it was snowballed into another debt. $41.59 on my Hilton American Express, and what I actually paid was $176.85. $40 on the Hilton, my husband's Hilton American Express, and he does not owe a balance, so that was snowballed into another debt. It was probably snowballed into the Sam's Club card at $83.06, and we did pay $83.06. And then $307.66 was what I had planned on paying on my card. This does include the $184 weekly payment. What I actually paid was $324.31. And then we did have to pay the HELOC at $350, and we did pay $350. And this brought our payments to $934.22. We go over to the budgeted versus the actual, and so the planned income was $2,554.75. What we actually brought in was $2,507.13. We did have a rollover of $59.81. The income saved was planned at $252.27. We saved $252.09. The income spent, which is the combination of bills and expenses, was planned at $1,278.75. What we actually spent was $1,729.93, and the debt was planned at $865.37, and we actually were able to put $934.22 towards debt. According to this left us with a remaining balance of $158.36, but an actual negative amount of $349.30, and that is not accurate. I don't remember how much we had remaining in the budget, but we were not overdrawn as far as I can recall. So we move along to week 2, and then at the end of the video, depending on how much time I have remaining, I will go over our spending review. So week 2's budget was February the 6th through February the 12th. The income for this week was planned at $4,054.75, and what we earned was $4,372.16. We had planned $950 for my husband, and he actually earned $1,162.07. The regular $1,104.75 for me, and what I spent was $1,110.54. Earned. And then I always budget $2,000 from my overnight triage counselor position, and what I actually earned was $2,099.55. So that brought our income to $4,372.16. All right, so for the savings, we had planned to save $252.27. We actually ended up saving $301.85. That was with $68 into our house project fund, and we did save $68. $34.09 into my son's college fund, $50 for Christmas. What we actually spent was it actually should be $39.76. We did save $39.76. $50 into my savings and $50 into my husband's savings, because he did not save the week before. He did transfer $100, and this week M1 Finance did happen to come out, but it was not included in the budget, which is what brought our savings to $301.85. We go over to bills, and bills were planned at $341.99, but we only paid $332.99, and I know why, but that was with our weekly mortgage payment of $332.99. Apple Storage was supposed to come out. Apple Storage is billed to my American Express card because I get a credit, or I earn cash back, and then I go in and I pay the $9.99 out of my checking account, even though it is it's on the business card. So that has not quite come out yet. I did go in and make that payment on the 10th, I think, so it should come out, I guess, tomorrow, and then this will be updated, so it will probably calculate to $341.99. Grocery expenses were planned at $1,024.95. That was with $150 in groceries. What I actually spent was $186.78. It's like I do really good one week, and then I do I need improvement the next week. $125 in gas, and we only spent $60. Beauty maintenance was planned at $50, and I did put $50 in my beauty maintenance envelope. My son is not due for a retwist. We do not need toiletries. Household doesn't really need anything, so this is for last week, so I'm gonna leave it in there. Fast food, we didn't spend anything in fast food. Date night, we planned $75, and we put $75.50. Will spend and my spend is $25 a piece. Miscellaneous, we had planned $80, and we didn't spend anything miscellaneously. Tide, we had planned $209.95, which is 10% of my overnight triage counselor position, and I did tithe $209.95. Car price, we had planned $50, and we spent $0. And then my son's allowance was $10. He got his $10, and then we had planned $125 for special occasions, again for Valentine's Day, and we actually ended up spending $261.96. That included the $125, but then my husband and I went out as well for our Valentine's Day date. So that brought our expenses to $904.19. So we transitioned over to debt. Debt for this pay period was planned at $1,507.38. That was with $40 on my Amazon American Express, which does not have a balance, so that was snowballed into another card. $124.48 on my husband's Platinum American Express, and that's usually the card that we use for our date nights. And this was a date night, I want to say from December, that was due whenever it was due. So we paid the statement balance. $937, I've shared how this happened in several videos. So I did pay that off out of my overnight triage counselor position. $29 to Capital American Express, again that has a $0 balance, so that was snowballed into another debt. And then $30 for Ulta, which again has a $0 balance and was snowballed into another debt. Nothing was planned for Hilton American Express, but again, I do always go in and cover my daughter's expenses up to like $50, or apparently $186.03. And then my car payment was planned at $184, and what I actually ended up paying was $739.77, which I think is the actual monthly payment. It's either $739 or $793. And then my husband did go in and put $56.13 towards the HELOC. And lastly, we had to pay $162.90 on the Amazon Chase card, and that was the actual statement balance. So that brought our actual debt payments for this week to $2,206.71, which is very impressive. So we go over to the budgeted versus the actual. The income was planned at $4,054.75. Actually earned $4,372.16. The income saved was $242.03. We actually saved $301.85. The income spent was $1,366.94. We actually spent $1,237.18. The debt paid was planned at $1,507.38, and we paid $2,206.71, which left a remaining balance of $938.40, which was more accurate to what was left in our account as of today, when February budget, week 3 budget started. And what they're saying actually should be there is $277.12, which is not correct. So we will go over to the review, which is in one of these tabs, the diary review. We will go to the first week of February, or week 1's budget, to January 5th. All categories. I'm not gonna do a big thing. I like to go over like where our money went, and so 8.6% of our income for week 1 went towards savings. 32% of our income went towards expenses. 32% of our income went towards debt, and then 27.3% of our income went towards bills. That's kind of high. And then we were over in categories. Well, this is all the spending that we did in week 1. It's kind of ridiculous. Like we spent, it never actually totals. So I can't give you what that is. But these are all of the transactions from the week 1, February week 1's budget. So a couple of miscellaneous expenses that I'm not ashamed of is I paid for a workout program. We are going to Jamaica in March, and it is a business trip. I'm actually attending an intensive training on anxiety and OCD, especially since that is my target population. And so I am paying for a workout program. Plus, I love working out. And then also, I bought some collagen peptides because collagen is good for women and women's good. So those are just the things that, qualify for our miscellaneous. We'll go over to week 2 just to not make this video so long. February week 2 starts on the 5th and it ends on the 12th. And as far as the income breakdown, 9.7% of our income went towards savings. I like to see it at 10% or better. So that's, that's improving. 23.7% of our income went towards expenses. 58.3% of our income went towards debt. And I love to see that. And then a whopping 8.4% of our income went towards bills for that pay period. So not too bad. So that is it for our budgets the first 2 weeks of February. We're getting much better in being intentional. I am slowly trying to be more intentional about decluttering my life. I am actually, it is on my to-do list to close out my personal American Express Platinum card. That is on my to-do list because I don't use it and I don't want to mistakenly use it again instead of my business American Express. So I am going to keep the business, but I'm going to close out my personal. Hopefully, I wonder if they'll give me a refund. I don't know. If you've done it, let me know. So I'm going to close that out. I would love to have that done in the month of February. Actually, I need to put it on my board as a to-do thing, something to do, to go on my to-do list. And then, just continue to be intentional about my income and my expenses and trying to get back in a regular routine as I continue to try to declutter and downgrade my life. I have a lot going on. I'm not looking to be a victim, but, I am running a private practice. I do have the overnight triage counselor position, this PRN position. I am still in training and it's taking more time than I had originally planned, had anticipated it would take. And then I do have the contracting position that takes about 12 hours a week for me to work. Then I'm still steadily trying to grow my social media platforms and it's a lot. And so luckily I'm able to kind of stay relevant on my YouTube page because I do have a Sharia Mac and Debt TikTok page and I'm pretty intentional about posting there daily. So I have been able to post the TikToks onto my YouTube, which has I hopefully kept me relevant. So if you have any maintenance tips for it all, which is surprisingly funny because the population that I work with as a therapist, I help women try to figure out their rhythm in managing it all. And the first thing I would tell somebody if I was me showing up on the other side of my screen is what can you take off your plate? And I am considering that, but I'm trying to hold out until I at least get my car payment paid off. So that is it for February week 1 and week 2's budget. Thank you so very much. If you have watched thus far, I really appreciate it. And again, let me know in the comment section, what do you think I should take off of my plate? And 2, what do you think? How is your budget for February going? How is your month of February going so far? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you for watching. If you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Also share this content for anyone else who could benefit from it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.